Intelligence. What is intelligence and how is it measured?
Class, today will be all about intelligence. Turn to chapter 9 in your books. I think it starts on page 206. I see Tati still stuck in chapter 5 getting some good REM sleep. Intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Intelligence is not based off only of how much you know, but intelligence is the capacity to learn from experience, solve problems, and adapt to a changing environment.
So, how can you tell if someone's smarter than someone else? Can intelligence be measured?
Excellent question. Everyone give Tati some love.
Before we find out how intelligence is measured, let's look at the 4 theories of what intelligence is made up of exactly.
Spearman's two-factor theory, Thurstone's theory of primary mental abilities, Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, and Sternberg's triangle theory. Spearman's two-factor theory suggests all behaviors we consider to be intelligent have a common underlying factor called the G factor. The G factor represents the abilities to reason and solve problems. Thurstone's theory of primary mental abilities has 8 categories: visual and spatial ability, perceptual speed, numerical ability, verbal meaning, memory, word fluency, deductive reasoning, and inductive reasoning. Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences is broken into 8 categories as well: naturalistic, linguistic, visual and spatial, musical, kinesthetic, logical, interpersonal, and intrapersonal. Sternberg's triangle theory only had 3 categories: analytical, creative, and practical.
So can intelligence be measured?
Smarty pants, egghead, brainiac. Enter Alfred Binet and Theodore Simon, 2 French psychologists who were commissioned to develop a test to measure a child's so-called mental age. The concept of a kid's mental age is essentially the level of performance associated with a certain chronological age. So if 6-year-old Bruno tests as well as the average 6-year-old, he'd have a mental age of 6. Binet believed that his tests could measure a child's current mental abilities, but that intelligence wasn't a fixed inborn thing. He believed intelligence quotient, or IQ measurement. At the time, your IQ was simply your mental age divided by your chronological age multiplied by 100. So, for example, Bruno is 6, and so is his mental age, so his IQ ranks at 100, but his little sister Betty is a 4-year-old with a mental age of 5, so her IQ would be 125. That formula works pretty well for measuring kids, but it falls apart when it comes to adults who don't hit measurable developmental steps like kids do. I mean, there's no real difference between a mental age of 34 and 35. Today, we understand that intelligence, as defined by all the people we've talked about here, does appear to be a real and measurable phenomenon. But no one can say that they've disentangled all of the would-be genetic, environmental, educational, and socioeconomic components of it. In the end, it's best to think of intelligence as something about which we've still got a lot to learn.